On We Don't Color on the Dog, we've got David Baer, who is part of Triumph Gulf Coast and chairman of the Tourist Development Council. David, thank you for doing this morning.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it.
You know, we're finding this tourism is marketing is almost at a halt now. We've got invoices are showing that over $2 million, almost $2.5 million now, of tourism marketing bills haven't been paid. The visitor center utilities bills haven't been paid. And a Triumph match hasn't been paid by the clerk's office. You've been trying, I know the TDC has brought it up in several meetings, just looking for a checklist to figure out how to get through this bureaucratic red tape that's going on.
Right. I don't really know what's going on. The clerk of the court obviously administers the tourist development tax program for the county, and she's allowed to make rules within the statute on what's expected for collecting the remitted taxes from the hoteliers, et cetera, and on rules on the spend, like what is required to be turned over as evidence of the authorized expenditures of the tourist development tax. But she's not publishing those rules. She's just keeping those to herself. And so it seems to be an ever changing goal line. I mean, it's just every single time one of the organizations tries to submit their documents to get reimbursed for their expenditures, it's not enough. They do exactly what she expected last month, which was a little bit more unreasonable than prior months, but this month it's not enough. We need more. And there's no expectation of what to turn over. And so, like you said, there's these, past due payments that are really damaging, potentially damaging our tourism. I mean, when Pensacola is talking about possibly having to borrow money to pay their bills, to reimburse the advertising agencies for their creative work that they've done and the advertising placement to develop tourism using tourist development tax is just unnecessary. It's unreasonable. It's unjustifiable. I don't know what's really going on.
Well, and the thing that I found is another thing that's unusual, David, is that the Visit Pensacola and all those invoices go to the county. The county verifies based on the rules that they think they've been given by the clerk's office. Well, not even rules, it's just what they've seen happen on past rejection of invoices. And then they send it to the county and nothing happens. And then Visit Pensacola has to, ad agencies call Visit Pensacola, then they call Stephen Hall, the finance director. Stephen sends an email over to the county and they come back and say, well, you need X, Y, and Z. His office sends it back to Visit, who sends it back to the ad agencies, and they scramble and they do everything they need to do. And they rush to get it back because they want to pay their vendors. Then it goes into a black hole again. Nothing's heard. You've seen the emails. I've seen the emails. Ad agencies ask again. They go back to Visit. Visit goes back to the county. The county asks a question. They say, oh, well, we need this. It's a constant drag your feet. And you're looking at stuff, invoices from September that haven't been paid.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you mentioned earlier about the Triumph grant, there is a regional tourism marketing group who joined together after the oil spill to try to help themselves, work together to recover from the oil spill themselves, right? Just for tourism marketing. And under the Triumph statutes that, created Triumph and directs Triumph on how to spend the money, it dictates to Triumph that it must be also spent on tourism, but through Visit Florida. It is one of the 7 different statutory requirements for the Triumph spend. And so it is not for any one specific county within the Triumph, 8 disproportionately affected counties. It is for Visit Florida to market the entire 8 county area to help them with the recovery and diversification of tourism, right? So this regional association of
the Northwest Florida Tourism Council is what it's called.
Thank you. Yes, I should know that. They convinced Visit Florida to come to Triumph and apply for a grant, and they got $10.5 million in a grant, which must be matched, right? So each one of those counties put up their own tourist development tax to match that grant application, and it's to be used for marketing, for tourism development in the disproportionately affected counties. And they did it based on some pro rata amount on their collections. So it was fair across the board for all 8 counties. They put in their own, prorated amount. And the clerk has decided she didn't like that. Well, first she said it's not authorized. That's not what Triumph does. Well, she's wrong. The statute's clear. It's in black and white. It does do that. The legislature told Triumph they must do that. And now she's saying it's just too much. She doesn't agree with the amount. And she really has no authority over what is tourism development, if an amount is too much for tourism development, if the county approves it, if the TDC is recommending it, and it fits within the statute. She has no authority over how much may be spent and really whether or not it should get reimbursed. The only thing that she can do is make rules on what is required to turn in,
Right. What kind
to
of
present.
documentations needed to support that this money was properly spent? And that
Exactly.
has gotten very, very complicated. And I really don't want to go through it because if the average person saw what they're required to do, you would say this is bizarre. And
Yeah.
maybe at
Even
some
though
point I will, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, just to speak to that, these are public dollars, and there should be scrutiny on how these dollars are spent. It should be transparent, and there should be documentation to support it. And everybody in the industry who is doing this supports that position and agrees and is willing to do everything it takes to get it done. The problem is nobody knows what it takes to get it done because the clerk won't explain it, and she changes every single time someone submits for reimbursement. And Stephen Hall at the county is pulling his hair out because this is $22 million out of an $850 million budget. And he spends an extraordinary amount of time managing this. And from what I understand, he's having to deal with this in more than just tourism. He's having to deal with this in other areas, but it's mostly in tourism. I mean, it's just extreme. And she's just trying to kill it.
Well, the other thing that people need to understand too, this is at the end of the process. She will not sign the check. The ads have been placed. The ads have been run in many instances. Dickey Appleyard, the Appleyard Duncan McCall agency, they go ahead and pay all their advertisers. So he's out $1 million right now, over $1 million, because this is the way that they've always had such a good relationship with the media because they make sure that everything gets paid. But it's done at the very end. Like I talked to various people in the ad agencies, and if she wanted to change the rules, and this all seemed to began on September 30th, if she wanted to change the rules, she should have sat down with the TDC, with Visit, with Showcase Pensacola, and said, okay, this is my expectation now. So when they started booking business and started placing ads and paying for things, they should have been reasonably known. All right, if I just follow the rules, everybody gets paid. And that's the piece that seems to be so unfair, David.
Yeah, I mean, she has the authority to set rules, but she needs to publish those rules. It's not even just a matter of sitting down with people. When the county makes a rule, it passes an ordinance, right? And so the people know what the ordinance is. When the state of Florida passes a rule, it's called a law. They set the law. So people know what the expectation is and you live within it. And so everyone wants to be transparent. Everyone wants to provide whatever documentation is necessary to facilitate this program. The only one who's not being transparent is our clerk of the court. She is keeping this to herself, and she's picking and choosing when she wants to apply it and how much pressure she wants to apply and to whom she wants to apply it. And it's problematic. I mean, when you have people like, excuse me, Dick Appleyard and Duncan McCall, those, the Appleyard agency and Duncan McCall out $1.2 million of their own money and waiting and waiting and waiting, it's unreasonable.
They've done this. They have done this for 10 years. That's the other piece. It's not like these are people that have done a bad job that they haven't, their invoices have been paid routinely for 10 years now. And we see the results of the tourism marketing. While everyone else has been slipping, we're holding our own. But I'm worried that if we keep this up, when we go, we should be booking fall marketing right now. And if the ad agencies can't pay the vendors and our visitor center can't stay open anymore because she won't pay the bills, it's bringing a halt to a very important industry to our county.
Yep. Yeah. And so if the destination marketing organization has to get a loan in order to cash flow the work that they are doing on behalf of the county, who's responsible for paying those interest rates, those interest charges on the loan? Because that you have to go to the bank to get it because the county's not going to loan it to them because the clerk's not going to write the check. So what gives? I mean, when does this stop? When is the clerk going to want to try to do the right thing by, what she was elected to do, which is to be, the watchdog, the gatekeeper, the check holder. But she is the check holder, write the checks. When you have all the documentation that shows this is tourism development, the county has supported it, the Tourist Development Tax Council has supported it, fits squarely within the purpose of the law. Why are you holding checks?
Yeah. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, they hope to have a big meeting with Visit Pensacola with the clerk. The first time she's sat down with the people that are handling tourism marketing. And hopefully checks will start flowing on Thursday. If not, I think the county commission needs to have an open discussion item in their meeting so the public can hear exactly how bad this is. And hope, it's no one wants to get into a fight. No one wants legal bring in attorneys. I think everybody just we want to take this one industry that's critical to our economy. So hopefully we'll get some action on it on Wednesday, June 4th. So hopefully that'll happen. David, thank you so much for coming on today. Leave it
up. Thanks for watching, and to keep up with what's going on, be sure and subscribe. Just click on the little dog to the right and click the subscribe button. You can also like this video and click on the bell, which will notify you of new content. This really helps the channel grow. We appreciate you.